to discuss first order higher degree differential equation solution, a specific case that is solvable for x. In the previous video, we have discussed the two cases, that is how to solvable for p and y. But sometimes those methods are not applicable. So in that case, what we can do? We can check whether that differential equation is solvable for x. Now, what does solvable for x means? If a given differential equation can be written in this form, that is x can be written explicitly in terms of y and p, then this is called as a differential equation which is solvable for x. Now, what is the main idea behind this? The main idea behind it is, suppose we have any differential equation. Very first step is we need to write the differential equation, in this case as x as a function of y and p. After that, you need to differentiate with respect to y. So this becomes dx by dy. On the right side, we apply the chain rule. Why? Because here it is depending upon y and p, where p is the derivative of y with respect to x. So both are the function of y. That's why we are applying chain rule. In chain rule, first we take the partial derivative of function with respect to y, then y derivative with respect to y, plus partial derivative of function with respect to p, then p derivative with respect to y. The value of dy by dy is equal to 1. As we know that dy by dx is equal to p, so it means dx by dy is equal to 1 by p. Substitute here and it results a first order differential equation in terms of y and p. Why first order? Because we are getting the derivative of p with respect to y. And we can solve this equation with the method of first order differential equation that we have already learned. Now let's understand overall decision process. Suppose we are given with any differential equation, the very first step is you need to ask, can we write that equation in this form, that is x as a function of y and p? So if it is no, then this method is not applicable. We should try for some another method such as solvable for p or a y. If the answer is yes, then we apply the method solvable for x. So in the equation for solvable for x, the next step is we need to differentiate it with respect to y and replace dx by dy is equal to 1 by p and further simplify the equation. In this way, we will obtain a differential equation in terms of y, p, dp by dy, and then solve this equation with the standard methods of first order differential equation. And after solving it, we obtain a relation between y, p, and it contains constants of integration. From this stage, two cases arises. The first case is we can explicitly find the value of p in terms of y. If you can do so, then substitute the value of p back into the original equation to get the general solution. On the other hand, if it is not possible to eliminate p from the solution, in this case, rather than finding the value of p, we will find the value of y in terms of p and substitute y back into the differential equation, and then it will result x as a function of p. Y was already a function of p, now we are getting x as a function of p, and this type of form is called as a parametric form of solution where p acts as a parameter. So this is the complete idea and methods of solving first order higher degree differential equation for the case solvable for x. Now let's understand these steps clearly with the help of an examples. Now let's start with the given differential equation. We need to find its general solution. Very first step is we need to check it whether this differential equation is solvable for p. It means we need to find the factors in terms of p. Now how many factors we needed in this case? As it contained p cube, it means we needed 3 factors in terms of x and y. But here we cannot find the 3 factors in terms of p, so it means solvable for p method is not applicable. Next, check it whether this equation is solvable for y. For solvable of y, we should able to write y as a function of x and p. But here we have the term that contains y square p cube, which involves y square. So solving y explicitly in terms of x and p becomes difficult and it leads to the complicated expression. Hence, the method of solvable for y is also not convenient in this case. Now let's check it whether the equation is solvable for x. It means can we write x as a function of y and p? Observe that the power of x in this case is equal to 1. So we can easily solve the given equation for x in terms of y and p. From here we can write 2px is equal to y minus y square p cube, or x is equal to y minus y square p cube divided by 2p. So as x is explicitly represented in terms of y and p, so we can say that it is solvable for x. What is the next step? We will differentiate this form with respect to y. This results dx by dy. On the right hand side, we can apply the quotient rule. Denominator square, denominator as it is, derivative of numerator, that can be expressed as derivative of y with respect to y as 1 minus, here apply the product rule, derivative of y square is 2y, p cube as it is, plus y square as it is, derivative of p cube is 3p square into dp by dy minus numerator as it is, derivative of denominator is 2 into dp by dy. So note that we are taking the derivative with respect to y, not with respect to x. In the next step, replace dx by dy is equal to 1 by p and simplify this. So we can write here as 1 by p, and this term we can take it on the left hand side. It becomes 4p square is equal to 2p minus 4y p raised to power 4 minus 6y square p cube dp by dy. Next is minus 2y dp by dy plus 2y square p cube dp by dy. Now further simplify this. This is equal to 4p is equal to 2p minus 4yp raised to power 4. This term get clubbed with this and it results minus 4y square p cube dp by dy, and the next term is as it is. Take all these terms on the left hand side and this results this equation where I have taken 4p minus 2p is equal to 2p and rest of the terms are as it is. Now collect the coefficient of dp by dy and take the terms common from first to 1. This results this equation. Now check it. Both contains the same factor and we can further write it as 1 plus 2yp cube into 2p plus 2y dp by dy. Now this is the first order differential equation. From here, we need to solve the factor that contains derivative. This implies 2p plus 2y dp by dy is equal to 0. So from here we can apply the variable separable method because we are getting a p form different and y form different, and this can be written as dp by p is equal to minus dy by y. After simplification, integrate on both sides. This results 1 by p integration is log of p is equal to minus log of y plus log c. We can club these terms and this is equal to log of p is equal to log of c by y. This is further written as after taking anti-log p is equal to c by y. This results the value of p explicitly in terms of y. So this is the case 2 where we are getting the value of p in terms of y. The next step is substitute this 2 in a 1. What is a 1? That is here. We need to substitute the value of p here so that we can eliminate p and it results a function of x and y, and that is the general solution of this differential equation. So this results the value of x is equal to y minus y square p cube is c cube by y cube divided by 2 into p, that is c by y. That can be further written as y minus c cube by y divided by 2 into c by y. Take the LCM, that can be expressed as y square minus c cube by y whole divided by 2c by y. So this y is get cancelled with y. So this implies the value of x is equal to y square minus c cube by 2c. Find the value of y square from here. So y square is equal to 2c into x plus c cube. So now we are getting the value of y in terms of x and the constant, and which is the general solution of the given differential equation. Now the question may arises why we are not solving this factor, because this factor gives the singular solution, but as per the question we need a general solution. The general solution is obtained from the factor which contains the derivative. Let's take one more example. In this example, again we need to find the general solution of this differential equation where p represents the derivative of y with respect to x. Now think whether this is a solvable for x or not. So clearly the power of x is equal to 1. It means yes, this is solvable for x and x is explicitly given in terms of p. So what is the first step? The first step is differentiate with respect to y. So this results dx by dy on the right hand side. 4 is as it is. Derivative of p is dp by dy plus p cube derivative is 3p square dp by dy. Why we are writing dp by dy? Because p is a function of y. So that's why it is there. In next step, dx by dy is written as 1 by p. This is equal to 4. Take dp by dy common. So this results 1 plus 3p square dp by dy. Further simplify this, dp by dy is equal to 1 upon 4 into p, 1 plus 3p square. Now check it, this is a function of p only, so we can make variables separable, and this results 4p plus 12p cube into dp is equal to dy. Now clearly variable separable method is applicable. Integrate on both sides. From the left side we have 4 into p square by 2 plus its integration is 12 p raised to power 4 by 4 is equal to integration of 1 with respect to y is y plus constant. Simplify further, we can write y is equal to 2p square plus 3p raised to power 4 minus c. Now think, can we write p in terms of y? Clearly it is not possible here. So we will, rather than finding the value of p, we will find the value of y and substitute back into the equation. Now what is the equation? Equation is x is equal to 4p plus pq. It doesn't contain a y. Now what is the next step? Here y is expressed in terms of p. X is expressed already in terms of p. There is a no y. So we will take it as it is. So this is the special case where we are not getting the value of y in the given equation. So we will keep x as it is there. So combining these two gives us the parametric form of solution. In the previous case, we have calculated the value of p in terms of y and then we have substituted back into the equation. But here we cannot find the value of p in terms of y. So we will find the value of y in terms of p. Once you do that, we need to substitute the value of y in the given equation. But here it doesn't contain y. So what next? You can observe x is already in terms of p, so we can write as it is. So by eliminating p from these two, you will get a general solution. But the elimination of p direct is not possible in this case. So that's why we call it as the parametric form of solution. So this is how the solvable for x method is applicable for first order higher degree differential equation. So now it's your turn. I have mentioned two problems for you. Solve these two problems with the concept of solvable for x. Try this problem with the same method we discussed in this video. In the first case, you will get a parametric solution. In the next case, you will get a general solution. So write your answer in a comment section. If you learned something new from this video and if you understood the concept clearly, please like this video and share it with your friends. So till that, keep practicing, keep learning and stay happy. See you in the next video.